Episode 5 of Mic'd Up with Michael Merlo. Thank you for joining. Next week, we'll have some big changes to the show. We're going to have an intro. We are going to have a nice little background for the show. I'm currently working on that. Wanted to get something out this week, though, so didn't want to push this and not have it. So I wanted to have an episode out. We're going to have a nice background, though, and a nice intro starting next week at some point. But happy to jump on here. There's a couple of things I did want to get to. We'll have the Burrows Friday tomorrow at around 9:30, 10 o'clock. We'll let you know when that's going to be. I'm going to stay away a little bit from the Yankees. I'm going to touch on the Mets, but really not go too in-depth. I do want to get to a little NFL, a couple of gambling tips and, bets I like coming up for this season as we get closer. A lot of change happening here as we shift. Obviously, we're going to be on the baseball, but definitely getting to more football all over the BTO channels. So very excited, though, to talk some NFL. So we're going to touch on the Mets early, just a little touch. Tomorrow, full-blown panic Mets-Yankees, and then a little NFL here as we talk Stafford injury, a couple of over-unders I like, and some other things as we get set for the season. We'll start with the Mets, though, because what a disaster they are. They're an absolute disaster. Yesterday, as they're getting no hit, I'm almost sitting there rooting for Gavin Williams to throw that no-hitter, because I wanted them to hit a rock bottom. I wanted them to have the embarrassment of being no-hit after playing so poorly for so long. They've lost 8 of 9 now. I wanted them to just hit rock bottom. And they didn't. Soto hits the home run with 1 out in the 9th. And he's getting killed for it, by the way, somehow. He's getting killed for hitting a home run, for breaking up a no-hitter, which to me is just unbelievable. He is one of the more hated players on this team, and people don't even realize it. The old people, the boomers out there cannot stand him. I mean, the older generation cannot stand Juan Soto. Whether you're a Mets fan, whether you're a Yankee fan, whether you're just a baseball fan, I know so many people, Met fans, that can't stand the guy. And it is just, it's unreal. He's not having this remarkable season. He's having a nice season. He's been cold. We're going to get to that. He's been cold, but he's not having a bad season by any stretch of the imagination. He's their most productive offensive player. He has a higher OPS, I'm pretty sure, than Alonso right now, unless the home run he hit a couple of days ago raised it. But either way, him and Alonso are the 2 most productive players on the team. So if he's not 1, he's 2. He leads the team in homers. He gets on base. I mean, he's not having the season he had last year in a walk year, hitting in front of one of the greatest hitters we've ever seen, but he's having a nice season, and I think he's only going to get better. Remarkable. I can't believe the hate this guy is getting. And he was smiling, running around the bases as he hit a home run yesterday. He broke up a no-hitter. He broke up history. He broke up history in the 9th inning with 1 out. And he hit the ball 120 miles an hour, 420 feet to dead center. If he wants to smile, let him smile running around the bases. I don't really have a problem with it. I have a problem when he grounds into a double play, dogs in, and he's smiling after that. Sure, if he was smiling, I'd have a problem with that. But he hit a home run. I don't really give a rat's ass. They weren't going to win the game anyway, but they didn't get no hit. And I almost wanted them to. But Gary Cohen did read a stat, I think in the 8th, that said a team that has gotten no hit in the regular season has never won the World Series before. So that was, at that point, I was like, all right, maybe, I don't know. But I still was kind of like rooting for them to hit rock bottom. I hope they feel rock bottom right now. I hope they feel that way, because I have this weird feeling they're going to sort of break out of this as they go to Milwaukee, when everybody's going to count them out. Everybody's going to think, oh, well, you're playing the best team in baseball, first team to 70 wins, you're going to get swept, you're on the road, this and that. I have this weird feeling they're going to show up this weekend, but maybe that is just my crazy brain working in a mysterious way, thinking this is last season's team when it's clearly not. The differences between the 2024 Mets and the 2025 Mets are just remarkable. That team, after the JD Martinez home run on Grimace night, that team in every big spot came up in the clutch. They got the big hit. They moved guys over. They created runs for themselves. This team, this 2025 team, does the complete opposite. They'll get you to second base with nobody out, and you will not get to third base and you will not score. They don't hit the big home run. They really don't. My friends were talking about it the other day. They don't have this major, crazy regular season moment this year. They really don't have that signature moment, which is insane because at one point they were considered the best team in baseball. A few points in this season, they were considered the best team in baseball. And they don't have this signature moment in the regular season. It's August 7th. How is this possible? It has been just a sluggish, really frustrating offensive season. And since the pitching a couple of months ago has gone down the drain, you have seen this team struggle because they haven't been a good offensive team all season long. It's remarkable. It's truly remarkable how this season has gone because there were points where they were the best team in baseball. And now they look like the complete opposite of that offensively. They're one of the worst. Let's go through some numbers here. The last 28 days, this is on Baseball Reference. I'm going to read you the Fab Four. If you go back 28 days or around a month, you'll go back to where Steve Cohen gave them the nickname of the Fab Four, Alonso, Nimmo, Soto, Lindor, where they won that game for them basically in Baltimore coming back, which was a great game. They scored the 4 runs in the 8th inning, all thanks to those two. They didn't record it out. We go back to those dates right there. 28 days. Alonso, 4 home runs, 16 RBIs, a 157 batting average, and a 546 OPS. I triple checked that. Last 28 days, I triple checked the 546 OPS. That's true. Lindor, last 28 days. 3 home runs, 13 RBIs, hitting 206 with a 610 OPS. Soto, last 28 days, 5 homers, 12 RBIs, batting average of 167, an OPS of 680. Yeah. Nimmo, a homer, 10 RBIs, a 241 batting average, and a 665 OPS last 28 days. I mean, if your 4 highest paid offensive players, your 4 most important offensive players are not producing, you're not going to win games. And they somehow, in the middle of this 28-day stretch, went on a 7-game winning streak. They went on a 7-game winning streak. Sure, they beat the Angels and the Giants, but they went on a 7-game winning streak. Pretty remarkable that they were able to do that. It has just been frustrating as all hell. And I don't want to go too much into detail because, again, Kevin and I are going to really do this on the Burrows tomorrow. But this season has been one that, I don't want to sit here and kind of compare it to what the Yankees have been because the Yankee fan and the Yankees are going through it. They got a big win in Texas yesterday, and I understand how bad it's been for them. But for a team, and I never considered the Yankees the best team in baseball at any point this year. So for the Mets, who were considered one of the best teams in baseball, the best team in baseball multiple times throughout this season, it's amazing how they've gone from the top to where they are now. It's truly remarkable. One more note, actually. The last 50 games, the Mets starting pitchers have finished the 6th inning only 8 times, and David Peterson is the only guy out of all of their starting pitchers to go 8 innings. That's the state of the pitching staff. They're built. The bullpen is built for a postseason run. They are going to bring up Brandon Sproat and or Noah McLean at some point this month. Most likely after August 16th when they're able to gain an extra year of control. They're going to bring one of those guys up. Now you have a bulk guy, if you want to use that in the postseason. Clay wasn't bad the other day. I still don't trust him. But let's just say you have Minaya built up, ready to go, full go. Senga figures it out. And obviously Peterson. You have 3 guys that could give you at the very least 5, probably 6, and maybe even 7 if they're on innings. And then that bullpen. And then you got to figure out the 4th game with both guys, with the young guys, with Holmes, Montas, both guys, things like that. Please, God, no Montas. Please, God, no Montas. As I'm going to just clean the camera. It looks a little blurry here. Either way, talk more on the Mets tomorrow. A lot more on the Yankees as well with Kevin on the Burrows. That'll be around 9:30, 10 o'clock Friday live on YouTube. And, of course, everywhere you get your podcasts immediately after. Let's go to football. Let's talk a little football here. I think this is the first time we're bringing football up here on Mic'd Up, so very excited. We are going to do a lot of football, obviously, as we get closer to the year, and more of a gambling side aspect to it. I'm going to do a lot of gambling. I hurt my back yesterday. That's why I keep sitting up playing softball. Tried to evade a throw at first. It looked like the ball was coming at me, not a throw, a tag, and I hurt the back. I tweaked something. I definitely tweaked something. And then, of course, I worked out my back this morning. Not a good idea. Let's talk a little football. So, Matthew Stafford, let me start out by saying this. For the past 2 months, I've basically been locked into my Super Bowl pick of the Rams. I've been locked in. I'm all over the Rams. They've improved the offensive line. They have the weapons. They add Devontae Adams. They just paid Kyron. They got a nice 1-2 punch in the backfield. I'm a big Stafford McVay fan. The defense is so young. All they did was get better last season. They needed another corner. They got one. I'm all in on the Rams this year. All in. All offseason. I've been telling people all offseason I love the Rams. That's the pick. The NFC, it's very good. It's competitive, but there's no top dog. It's wide open. And I think the Rams are the team that steals it. And Stafford goes out on top and retires. That's been my thing all off season long. And now I got Stafford back injury, and now I'm a little scared. And now I may be walking it back. It's not too late to walk it back. I could walk it back. The back's tough. The back is tricky. That scares the hell out of me. Stafford with the back injury. He's old. He's had the injuries at the neck. He's at the shoulder. Scares the hell out of me. But they're plus 2,000 right now to win the Super Bowl. So if you're not concerned about the back, that's great value. I mean, it's great value. And I'm not locked into it yet. And if I was, I wouldn't cash it out or anything. But at plus 2,000, with that defense and that coach and a division that does not seem like there's any favorite whatsoever, a good division, a tough division, but nothing crazy. There's no top dog in that division. If there's any top dog, it's you. I like them. But the 49ers are very interesting. We're going to move to them for now because the 49ers have the easiest schedule in the league. They had the hardest schedule in the league in 2024. This season, they have the easiest schedule. And so I went through their easiest schedule. And I'm like, well, early, it's not that easy. Early in the year, it is not the easiest schedule in the world, but you go through most of it, the middle to the end. And there are a lot of wins on that schedule for the 49ers. Now, the 49ers have lost pieces. Their offensive line is not going to be that great. I don't love their weapons. Ayuk coming off the torn ACL. Pearsall hopefully fully healthy and ready to go for the year. Obviously got shot last year and then had a couple of injuries towards the end of the year. Kittle, another year older, no smelling salts for him. Crazy, by the way, the smelling salts, banning the smelling salts. Absolutely insane. But either way, Kittle, another year older, was very productive last year, though, and is a productive offensive player, even if he wasn't as great of a receiving tight end as he is, because we know how great he is in the run game. I'm not in love with the weapons, though. The defense will be good. They drafted that kid, I'm blanking on his name, Michael Williams on the edge. Obviously, Nick Bosa's there. Fred Warner's back. Defensively, they should be fine. Robert Saleh's back, of course, as the defensive coordinator. But either way, I'm not in love with this team because I'm a Purdy fan. But I'm a Purdy fan in the right situation because I don't know if Brock Purdy is able to carry a roster That is limited. It's a limited roster compared to the other seasons in which Purdy was led to lead this team. It is a limited roster. It is not as good. Debo's not a massive loss, but in terms of previous years, maybe 2 years ago, it is a big loss because he was a player. Last season, he wasn't. He was really not productive last season. So from 2024 to 2025, he didn't lose much. But from other seasons, especially while Purdy was the starter, you did lose something. I'm not in love with this team, but I do kind of like the over on 10.5 because the schedule is easy. And I think the defense will be fine. And obviously McCaffrey is coming into this season healthy. And so is Trent Williams. They're weird because the easy flip for me in my Super Bowl dilemma would be just go to that team. Easy schedule. They'll probably win the division and flip to them, especially if you're not in love with anybody else in the NFC, which I'm really not at the moment. Nobody in the East, maybe a team in the North, maybe a team in the South. We'll get to them in a minute. Just very, very weird. I'm not in love with this Niner team. And if you ask my friends, if you ask people that have talked football with me before, they know I love the Niners. I love Shanahan. I'm a Purdy guy. I almost every year pick the 49ers to at least win the division and go to the NFC Championship game, if not the Super Bowl. They've been my team, and I'm not in love here. I'm not in love. So we'll monitor that. There's still a little bit left before I have to make a prediction on the Super Bowl. I'll stick with the Rams for now, but we are going to have to review that. 10.5. 10.5. Ayuk off the ACL. I don't love it. Here's another over-under win total I love. Kevin Bunk did the bunker yesterday, okay? And then he posted a clip on social media talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And go check it out if you have it on TikTok and Instagram. It was a very nice clip. Did well on TikTok. And that morning, I had not listened to the show. I had not seen the clip. I was working all day, and I had not seen anything. But earlier that day, I was thinking about a potential team that if I wasn't going to go with the Rams, who could I go with in the NFC? And I'm listing off the teams in my head, and I'm like, all right, this team. And then I get to the Bucs. And I'm like, the Bucs are very, very intriguing because offensively, they are just going to be an absolute powerhouse. Powerhouse. Evans. Godwin coming off the injury. They drafted the kid from Ohio State who was considered one of the best receivers. Yes, in a weak draft class, but got him late towards the middle of the draft, back end of the draft. That McMillan kid who was unbelievable last year. They have weapons all over the place. Bucky Irving's going to be a star this year, as he was towards the end of the year in 24. So I'm starting to list off these things in my head. I'm like, all right, well, that's good. That works. And they're probably not going to be great defensively, but they play in this weak division. They're playing a first-place schedule, and it's not the easiest schedule in the world, but they play in a weak division. They could go 5-1 in the division. I'm looking at their over-under win total, and I'm sitting there saying 9.5. 9.5. They might go 5-1 in the division. At the very worst, they're going to go 4-2 in the division. They're going to sweep the Saints. If you give me a split with the Panthers and the Falcons, which is likely, that's 4-2. And maybe they sweep the Panthers, or maybe they sweep the Falcons. I don't think they'll sweep the Falcons, but maybe they sweep the Panthers, and there's 5-1. Now I'm at 5 wins. At 9.5, I'm taking the over, and it's juice to the under. So the pros are probably on the under. I am taking that over 9.5. I'm taking the over on the Buccaneers 9.5 win total. And I was thinking about them as a Super Bowl team, and I don't know if I'm in love with the defense. I'm still going to look into it. I don't think I love them as a team to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, but we'll look. We'll continue to look. But that's where the point started, and I wanted to finish it off. I'm not there yet with them, but I could be there with them. And that's where we are with the Bucs. How about this to end off the show? Quick show today. How about this to end off the show? I'm looking today at different Super Bowl bets, whatever. I was getting the exact odds on the Rams, actually. I was just to make sure they were 2,000. Like, let me make sure they're 2,000 before I jump on here. And I go on the FanDuel and I look and I'm just swiping through. Thank God there's no money on this on my account right now because, if I was swiping through and I see something, I put something on there. No, there's nothing in there right now. And so I'm looking and I see the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are plus 2,200 to win the Super Bowl. And they have the same odds to win the Super Bowl as this team that was really good last year, but has basically a rookie quarterback starting in J.J. McCarthy. That would be, of course, the Minnesota Vikings. They have the same odds to win the Super Bowl as the Minnesota Vikings. That's a lot of respect to the coaching staff in Minnesota. Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores. That's a lot of respect to them, right? Because with J.J. McCarthy starting, great roster, great coach, but questions at quarterback, you would think they'd be a little bit lower. You would think the Bengals with Joe Burrow and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Chase Brown and Trey Hendrickson, they would be a little bit higher, right? No, they're the same. Now, I'm not going to bet the Cincinnati Bengals to win the Super Bowl because as much as I'm year to year with the AFC North, the Ravens are the Super Bowl favorite. They have the highest over-under win total to start the year, at least right now at 12.5. The Ravens are the more complete team, and the Ravens will probably win that division. But the Bengals will be in the playoffs this year. They will be back in the playoffs. Their over-under is 9.5. 9.5. I was shocked when I saw that. So I'm reading. And what's been the biggest issue with the Cincinnati Bengals, since Joe Burrow has gotten there? And that is, of course, is their offensive line. They were the 29th ranked offensive line in terms of pass blocking and run blocking both last season. It's a bad offensive line, and they didn't do much to improve it. They have not done much in this offseason to improve that offensive line. So they are going to have to improve from within, right? They're just going to have to get better. But I've seen this team go to a Super Bowl with a bad offensive line. I've seen this team go to an AFC championship game and almost beat the Chiefs in their house with a bad offensive line. I've seen them do it too. Obviously, they did it the year when they went to the Super Bowl. So I've seen it two different scenarios where a bad offensive line with Joe Burrow and those two weapons, they've been fine. Now, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I'm just saying at 9.5. At 9.5? Are you kidding me? They drafted the A&M kid, Shamar Stewart, who threatened to go back to college. They signed him. Trey Hendrickson's back. I'm sure they're going to pay him at some point. He's going to play. He's back at practice. Obviously, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, they're there. And you have Chase Brown, who emerged last season, and Joe Burrow. At 9.5, you have to be kidding me, right? That is one of the easier overs I'll see in a while, and that may seem casual. That's fine. I think they go over. I have been on the train of doubting and fading the Bengals forever because they're a public darling in terms of the gambling world. They're a public darling. Everybody loves betting on Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. They love it. They can't stop doing it. And last year, I was out on them. I did not think they were going to be that great. I thought the turmoil in the locker room would get to them. It did, and they weren't great. I think this Bengal team gets back to the postseason this year because they are too talented. And if Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and T. Higgins are healthy, they will do so. When those three were healthy and on the field at the same time last season, they were 8-4. In 12 games, they were 8-4. I think they're going to be healthy, and I think they're going to be good. I don't think they're Raven good. I don't think they're Bill good, but I think they will be better back in the postseason and over 9.5 wins. Give them 10, and that's where I'll finish this off. I appreciate you. Quick episode. I don't want these to be too long. We had the draft at trade deadline special. There will be certain scenarios where this can go 45, maybe an hour if I feel like talking to myself for that long. But in terms of the average length of Mic'd Up, I think it'll be around 20 to 30 minutes. We're right in the middle there today. So I appreciate you if you've stuck around. We will talk to you tomorrow on the Burrows. Check out the social media pages for an update on the time, and check out the social media pages for fun clips as we go through the rest of the week and the weekend. Talk to you tomorrow.